Approaching the island of São Tomé is a humbling experience. Stretching as far as the eye can see is a seemingly endless forest canopy, an extraordinary natural garden. Circling the island on a boat, these Italian tourists are awestruck by the wild landscape.
To be on this little boat in the middle of the ocean and the waves, and to see this forest practically spilling into the sea, it's a unique feeling.
A third of this island in the Gulf of Guinea is still covered by virgin forests.
What a marvel.
A marvel that to date has been virtually untouched by man.
Arriving in such a remote place, which has been so little visited or explored, you feel really privileged.
For a long time, the forest of São Tomé remained tucked away from the world and still hides within it many unknown treasures. Current scientific research started here just 30 years ago. Led by their guide, Antonio Cambuena, these two researchers have set out to discover species endemic to the island. Some of the biodiversity here is found nowhere else on Earth.
This is a newly described species. As the sap, if you cut it, it looks like oil. And actually, you can burn it. It's flammable.
But Jean-Baptiste de Fontaine and Ricardo Lima haven't come all the way here just for the plants. First and foremost, they're here to study birds. Half of the species in this forest are only found in São Tomé.
You've seen it already, no?
But spotting them among the branches would be almost impossible without the help of Antonio Cambuena. He's able to attract them by imitating their chirping.
We grew up with this. All of us who lived in the fields, we used to go hunting birds after school. We had to call them so they'd approach us, to be able to aim at them with our slingshots.
Nowadays, though, the guide uses his know-how to serve science.
You see it?
I think I did, but it just moved. You hear it?
Yeah.
The birds are getting closer and closer.
Now I can hear the oriole, this whistle.
From shrikes and blackbirds to São Tomé paradise flycatchers, there are about 150 species of birds on the island. And new ones are discovered every year.
Islands are usually key points because they're very small and they have a high concentration of unique species. São Tomé has a big advantage over other islands. It's because it's very mountainous. It's naturally protected.
Naturally protected, yet increasingly threatened by São Tomé's urbanization. Its population has doubled in 20 years to 200,000 inhabitants today. As their numbers grow, so does the consumption of wood for houses and charcoal. Meanwhile, the forest is shrinking.
Here we are in a carrot field. A new plot of land has been taken from the forest. You can see the burnt stumps in this large open space with no more trees.
A section of forest gone up in smoke. And this example is far from exceptional in São Tomé, a country where 2 out of 3 inhabitants live below the poverty line.
Il y a nécessité des personnes couper un petit peu de floreste pour faire petite activité d'agriculture comme vous êtes. Reste ça. Pour faire un petit peu de carottes, un petit peu d'haricots, un petit peu de tomates pour subsistance des familles.
Each hectare of forest that disappears here takes with it unique species, some of which haven't even been discovered yet.
The forest of São Tomé is a World Heritage Site. It is one of the last jewels, one of the last forest jewels in the world. So it must be everyone's concern, not just the concern of people here. It's an international responsibility.
Despite the growing demographic pressure, São Tomé's forest remains one of the best preserved in the world, listed as a biosphere reserve by UNESCO.